Hey everybody, how are we doing?
Good.
Right on. Welcome to another episode of the Gorilla's Kitchen. I am the Gorilla, Jeremy Scott, here to prepare an amazing meal for you today. If everybody can ask, what's the gorilla cooking?
What's the gorilla cooking?
Meatballs, baby.
Yeah.
You're gonna do this right. Got a great pasta for you, a nice Garofalo pasta. It's a nice little twisty little noodle, but that's not the star of the show. The star of the show is actually our meatballs. I'll introduce you to those in just a little bit. And they're accompanied by their supporting cast, the marinara sauce that's been marinating all day for you guys. Are we excited for that?
Yes.
All right. Now, typically with our tradition, we would normally be doing a craft cocktail, but we're not doing that tonight. We're going to pair this with wine. We're going to kick it up a notch this way, and it's going to pair nicely with the flavors we have planned for you. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the ingredients and what we're doing. So first of all, the meatballs. Now, those meatballs are done with a sweet Italian sausage and a lean ground beef, actually together. Now, sweet Italian sausage was there with a higher fat content to replace those fats from it, but we're going to integrate those flavors in together. We've used a combination of olive oils, which we used our roasted garlic olive oil from our friends and sponsor, the Queen Creek Olive Mill. We've combined it with that. As everybody knows, when you're making meatballs, what do we bind it with typically, right? Breadcrumbs, right? Well, not everybody is friendly with the gluten, the evil, ominous gluten from the planet Quasar. So, right? So, being that it's somehow invaded us now, we have to, do what we can to get rid of. But here's what I have done as a binder. I've used our good old friend Rice Krispies, a rice cereal, and what I did is I took that and threw it into the blender with Italian herbs and spices. We've got basil and oregano and garlic powder and a little bit of salt and black pepper. We've blended that together to create a breadcrumb replacement, and we've mixed that in there also with 2 eggs to bind it all together. So as we've done that, we pre-made our meatballs, and then we let them sit overnight. And why do we do that? Right? Because our flavors need to combine. We don't want to make them immediately and then slap them in the oven. Those flavors need to come together, and they need to sort of grow and create their own thing over time. So that's what we have done, and we baked those earlier today as our early prep so we can focus on the good time here. Instead of you guys looking at my back prepping meatballs, that's no fun. What's fun is engaging here, having a good time, having wonderful wine, and enjoying our dinner together. So let's talk about our marinara. All right. So I want to tell you, can I tell you guys a story?
Yes.
Share something with you? Okay. So my lovely wife and I, we took a trip last year to Italy. And it was one of the most sort of life-changing events for us and broadened my culinary horizons in many ways. And we did a wonderful cooking show with a gorgeous man named Paolo. Of course, ciao bella. So anything the man says, sure, yeah, no, I'd do him. He's that good looking, right? But no, it was a great thing. And it was a family-owned restaurant where they grew all their herbs and spices on the rooftop and incorporated all that right there. Now, he showed us a lot of great shortcuts. I mean, honestly, a lot of people think marinara sauce, it's got to be complicated. If the Olive Garden does it, it's got to be complicated, right? No, it's not, guys. It's really simple. There's a few shortcuts that you can take that actually don't shortcut your flavor. So a lot of people want to bring hardware into that relationship. You don't need to. I don't need a food processor. What we did is I want to show you guys just real quick. These are the same tomatoes, same can of crushed tomatoes, the same ones that we used in our cooking class in Florence. Okay. Now, the reason we use crushed tomatoes is because we don't need a food processor to make this happen. So that doesn't shortcut it at all. In fact, sometimes you get a lot of extra water, you get seeds, you get other things you don't need that are in stewed tomatoes. This is ready to go. It's pureed, it's down, it's basic. It's going to have still a good hearty flavor to it. We've combined our olive oils with it. I've stuck with the same flavors. Once again, the roasted garlic olive oil in with that one. And what else have we done? So I started off. Absolutely, you got to get your aromatics going. When you start to create a sauce, we have to start with the things that smell good. So stuff that gets up in our schnoz and really creates the beginning of all the flavors, right? Because we eat with all of our senses. So what I did first is I put our olive oil into our pan. We get that up really nice and hot, and we throw in our chopped onion to get that going, and I chop some fresh basil into it as well. A white onion, your typical run-of-the-mill white onion. A lot of of course, purple onion that has, a red onion, it's got a place, typically in burgers. So I really like that as a topping. But you want to stick with a white onion. It's a pretty neutral flavor. It's pretty low on acid. but it's a really nice flavor. It tends to adapt to other things and doesn't overpower other flavors.
How fine did you chop it?
You know, honestly, just regular, just small, finely chopped. And then I just, tossed it on in with the olive oil and get a nice, really good sizzle in there. 4 tablespoons of minced garlic. Guys, you don't need to roast your garlic. It's cool on cooking shows, right? To see them, oh, they roasted, oh, they chopped it, oh. Honestly, this knife is so ridiculously sharp, I don't want to put myself in any more peril than I have to. Okay, so there's no way that I'm chopping the garlic and wasting a lot of time. Minced garlic is great. But when you combine it with an olive oil, what happens is your minced garlic technically will have like a little bit of a sharp or a bitter sort of a taste to it. But when you marinate or you saute it initially, it takes that edge off of it. When you combine it with your olive oil, it takes the edge off, it smooths out, mellows out that flavor. You're throwing your onion in there, your fresh basil, and it really starts smelling fantastic. And once you notice that's in there. And the other thing is I did it in stages. And the reason I did that is I got my first batch of onion and garlic and basil in there, put a little bit of white wine because I want to caramelize that onion and get the sugars going, right? And so what I did is then I combined my first can of the tomatoes. And then what I do is I add a little bit more of each thing, and then another can of tomatoes, a little bit more, because I want to integrate the flavors, get that temperature up all the way through it, not dump, and have to let it do its own thing. I want to encourage it along the way so the flavors remain consistent and I don't have any weak spots in a giant container. I want to make sure that it's got a great flavor from beginning to end. And I let it sit for a long time. You got to do it. It takes time, but it's worthwhile because those flavors they really pay off in the end. And so I've created a more sweet marinara sauce. Some people like a little more spice, a little more bite, but I prefer it a little sweeter. So it's all to taste, and the things that I have, we'll have the recipe actually available for everybody online. But once again, these are just my suggestions. People might want to do things a little bit differently. That's okay. It's not about me. It's about you and what you guys want to taste. So we're going to take you on a flavor ride tonight, and we're going to have a great time with this. So what I'm going to do is now enjoy your wines. We're going to chat. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to make you guys some crostini here. We're going to brush on some of our olive oils. I'm going to combine not only our roasted garlic olive oil from our wonderful friends and sponsor at the Queen Creek Olive Mill, but I'm also going to add in some basil olive oil on top of that. Now, I'm going to add something else. I don't know if I have permission. I don't know. But there's something else that I really want to add in for you guys. Not yet.
Question.
Then maybe it's it.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to go with their fig balsamic reduction. Now, what's a reduction? It's just a fancy word for boiled off. Okay? It's more base element. It's a richer flavor. It's a little bit thicker. A little more like syrup than water. So we're going to combine that into there. A brand new fresh bottle we're cracking open. And before I pour that into here, I'm going to start with our olive oils before I get into our reduction. I'm going to pass this around and let everybody try this out. Now, for those of you out there who haven't had a chance to get to the Queen Creek Olive Mill because you live in who the hell knows where, when you come to Arizona, because everybody does, look it up. You'll find the link down in the description. Find out. We'll be happy to send you guys there. Tell them you saw our show. We love it. They're a great sponsor of us. So I'm going to pass this around, guys. I'm going to start adding some olive oils here. We'll try that fig. See what you think. So we've talked about how we're making our meatballs, how they were done.
Wow.
We talked about our marinara sauce. We've talked about our olive oils. Do you guys have any questions about anything else while we're here?
That is so good.
That is good.
Yum.
Pass it back this way.
Yeah. Got a shot glass.
Everybody talked about meat pork.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to leave me hanging.
I want to, since I'm done with this, I'm going to send this around too.
Delicious.
That is really good.
I want you to smell how fresh this basil is.
Yeah, I love basil.
Somewhere along the line, we've lost a lid, but we'll find one. Or we'll just have to use it all.
Oh, it's in front of you.
No, not this. It's the actual screw-on
I was
lid.
gonna say, all right, you saw that one. All right.
I'm pretty blind, right? But I am male. I have that going for me. Or against me, one way or another. We tend to lose that which is right in front of our face.
What would be some things that you would switch up if you wanted to go spicy?
So, here's a good one. You're going to like this. They actually have a jalapeno.
Okay.
What I would do is I would combine the jalapeno with the Mexican lime
Gotcha.
because you're going to kick up a lot of nice heat in this, but it's going to be pretty even mostly.
Flavor.
Yes, flavor heat. So this cracking this open brand new. Pass that around, please.
That's the jalapeno.
Ooh,
Yep.
Yeah.
The sinuses there?
Jalapenos. Y'all got some jalapenos up in there,
It smells just like a
right?
It does. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's your fresh lime.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not a
how.
fan of lime. That's
I think that's pure.
You don't like
I
the lime?
don't really like
No.
lime.
You don't like
Yeah.
any drinks?
I'm like, I'm going to share something with you in a minute. Okay, you're talking about spice. I'm going to show you something in just a minute where if you're talking real spice, I'm going to show you what really gets it done.
Yeah. Ooh, that's lime.
So you're brushing the meatballs with more olive oil.
Yeah, I am because they've been sitting covered, but
Okay.
the outer layer kind of dried a little bit on us. So I'm going to go ahead and brush those a little bit. We're going to moisten them up just a little bit, and then I'm going to cover them, and I'm going to stick them back in the warmer, covered this way, and we'll let some of
And
the.
is that the roasted
Moisture.
garlic olive oil?
That is the roasted garlic, and the other one. The other one I said, yeah, the basil.
Basil.
Nice.
The other. Yeah, that one. You wouldn't believe the wide array. We have pretty much all of their stuff. There's one that I'm actually missing that I'm sad about right now. They have a rosemary olive oil that I'm very excited about that I should have grabbed as well.
Next trip.
Yep. Yep, we will be refilling sooner than later. That is for sure. Now, my guest, what if you want to add a little heat? I got your friend right here. This guy is called 27 habanero olive oil.
I wonder why they call it that.
Want to go straight from here to hot?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason it's 27 is they figured out in this size bottle they could fit the pressed oil of 27 habaneros into this little bottle.
Wow.
Coincidentally, it'll come out the same way it goes in. Quickly, ferociously. Okay? So I am going to pass this around for those of you who haven't tried it. I would say start from a distance and bring it in when you do smell it because you'll smell it and you'll feel it here. So go ahead.
Can you order this stuff online?
You definitely. You go to queencreekolivemill.com and you just start. They've got a really great optimized site. So you start typing in Queen Creek Olive Mill and many variations I'm sure will show up from there.
And ship anywhere.
Yeah, they ship anywhere. They ship all over the place. In fact, so here's what's pretty exciting. I was talking to the manager there the other day. We're having a great conversation about how the business has really grown over the last 5 years. She said for the first time in the history of the business, they did more online sales than they did in-house.
Wow.
This last month, it's the first time they've done more online sales, period, than they did in-house. Pretty amazing, really, to me.
Yeah.
So that's going to go in there.
Do you use a lot of these oils to make your own like original sauces?
All the time.
Things like that?
All the time. Yeah, it goes into a lot of stuff.
So something that I would like to have somebody create or whatever is more of a hot sauce that isn't just hot.
It isn't just
And
hot
then just
and
more
isn't
of a-
just
yeah,
vinegar.
Yeah,
That's
it's
more
just
flavor.
vinegar and then isn't
Yeah.
just a Mexican food type hot sauce.
Right.
You know, like I don't want tapatio with everything.
Right.
You know, I want to have a hot sauce but not just be Tabasco. You know,
Right.
I want
So-
like some kind of like real flavor in it.
Right.
But still
I'm-
with some warmth.
I'm actually going to, do you like a little bit of sweet? Do you like a little bit of fruit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much.
So I'm going to hook you up with something.
Yeah.
Here's a product that I actually really like. So they're boom, right? It's packaged this way on purpose.
Yeah.
But it really, this stuff is, not
That's
kidding.
hilarious.
So this is a salsa made out of vegetables. This gets imported from Italy. Okay, and it's this really short supply. I was really surprised that we were able to even get this. But it's available only seasonally. They get it only a couple of times a year. And it's a very intensive flavor salsa that they have. So let's see. Tear along the dotted line, it says. So we're going to look right here at the dotted line.
That looks dotted to me.
It's Christmas, baby.
Yes.
No one can keep a kid from his toys.
So this is from Italy?
Yes, this is imported from Italy. As much as I like to save this label. All right, now, You guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a spoon, and you're going to taste this at your own peril. Okay. I'm glad you have something cold in front of you to drink. But this is flavor, baby. This is flavor right here. There's no two ways about it. Here's what we got. Talk about something that's got flavor, and it's not just heat for the sake of heat.
Yeah, that's not just flat out hot.
No, really is not. Got a little mango. You got a little bit of sweet in there. You got definitely some great stuff.
Oh, it hits
Watch how this comes out.
It's like
Afterburn.
Give me a
There
second.
you go.
There it is.
now it's
Now
there.
you feel it. Yeah.
Don't worry. In about 2 minutes, you're going to get the graveyard shift is going to come in too. And it's going to hit in the back of the tongue. And you're going to be like, no amount of water can save my life.
Do you have some milk?
Right? You have just a cup of cream I could just stick my tongue into, Blaze?
Right. But it's not just scorching.
Right.
It still is flavorful. Yeah.
So we're gonna throw a little of this balsamic. I just love the way that this looks as we come in. Isn't that beautiful? That's the fig, balsamic fig reduction.
But the initial bite of it is actually flavorful, and it's got like I don't know if you like you ever had like mango habanero?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, like it covers that a little bit, but it's got different flavor.
It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing stuff,
The
I
Italian
can't finish
flair
it.
too.
right?
But yeah, it hits.
I'm gonna smell
Yeah, it does.
So that to me would also go really good, sparingly, mind you, as a spread onto a sandwich.
Yep. Yep.
That's what I started seeing,
Right.
just because I see sandwiches when I close my eyes. But no, it's just one of those things. So we're going to set this puppy off to the side. Please be careful there. Now I've got our heat kicking up right now so we can get our pasta going. I'm going to start working into our crostinis so you guys can start enjoying those. And hopefully these things will be together shortly. It's pardon my cheap knife, but it will work. Stop that. How's your wine doing, everybody?
Delicious. Good.
good. What are we drinking?
You guys, so who likes Cabernets? Everybody know the difference? Cabs, Pinots. It's okay. You know what matters? How it tastes to you.
I don't really know the difference.
You know, we've gone through different phases, or I've gone through different phases. I say we, my wife and I, have both had an education in wine firsthand. Right at the consumer level, as it should be. I've had some very expensive bottles of wine, $150, $200 bottles of wine. I've had $2 Chuck, and I love that stuff too, right? Everything's got its time and place. But what I've found personally is by having different types of wines, learning what I like, I am seriously currently hooked on Argentinian Malbecs.
I love Argentinian.
See, there's something about the region, about the soil, about the altitude, about the things. It could just be the people. I have no idea. But their wine is made with love. It's full-bodied, right? Very little bitterness. It has a nice finish to it. It is an Argentinian Malbec, but it comes in and it gives you a nice little heat, nice little warmth right here. And, 2 or 3 glasses in, you're feeling really good. Everything's feeling fantastic. It's really good. Everybody's having a great time. And it's not, you can pick them up everywhere. Bedmo, Costco, Total Wine, you can get as fancy as you want. But really the difference in talking to sommeliers, that's people who know wine, who have told me, look, man, I can give you a $100 bottle of wine, I can give you a $60 bottle of wine, I can give you an $8 bottle of wine, and you tell me if you can tell the difference. Yep. Because really, you can talk, wine snobbery all you want to. What it comes down to is what you like personally. Nobody's gonna bear through a bunch of crap that tastes like garbage just because it's expensive. Sure, there are those people out there, and let them suffer for all I care. But really,
second to wine snob is whiskey snob.
right?
Those two are right.
There are things that I really enjoy, and I enjoy because screw it, I enjoy it. I don't give a shit if anybody else does, but I like it. And thankfully, my wife and I have a very similar palate and things, except she really likes beer, and I don't like hops. It's one of those things I just cannot get over as a hoppy taste of it. Forget it, I'm out. Yeah, forget it. I'm out. I'm a cider guy. I'm a vodka guy. I'm a whiskey guy. You know, bourbon.
Just to drink beer with her friends. That's all.
Beer I used to affectionately call hillbilly juice. But but in all reality, no, I don't care. It's up to everyone's own individual taste. Now, I mean, the beer side of things has grown so tremendously with the different microbreweries. There's, you know, hundreds of them here in Arizona. It's a very good thing. Some of my friends are involved with the different associations. And you know what? It's a great club to belong to, isn't it? You know, it's better than a wine club and all those damn snobs. I'd rather hang out with the beer crowd. They're a lot more fun. Those
Well,
are
what about like
my
the
people.
Pilsners or the golden lagers?
Couldn't tell ya.
You don't. Okay.
You
Don't-
drink beer in Munich.
Really?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
That's all I did for 2 years in Germany was drink
Right?
beer.
Yeah.
Well, it's cheaper than water.
No, that's legit. That is legit. That's
That's
a
when
true
you go
story.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, I appreciate the beer culture, okay?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of phenomenal things about it because, you know, look at it. I mean, it gives people who enjoy a hobby, you know, it's a great outlet, right?
Yeah.
It's an entrepreneurial spirit of things, which I love no matter what it's in.
Right.
And there's so many things. Did you smell that now?
Yes.
Okay. So there's so much that I love about the beer culture, but, you know, and my reasons for not liking beer is a very personal sort of childhood
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's really not worth, you know, upsetting people on the interwebs and hear about. But, you know, the smell of it brings back memories I'd rather not have.
Right. Well,
So-
we just turned into a counseling show.
Right. Right.
Right.
Do you want to go lay on the couch for a
Right.
while?
Right.
Exactly.
We'll invite Dr. Amy on the next episode. She'll get me sorted out. We'll be fine.
We're shut out here while
Exactly.
you're
When I was 8.
Yeah, right? Now, real quick before I pop these into the oven for a little crisping, I'm just going to pass this around so you guys can smell this real quick.
So this is the garlic and the fig
Yep.
together.
I,
Gotcha. She's that guy.
yeah. I enjoyed that.
Oh, that thick garlic.
That's amazing.
It's going to get even better in a minute.
Yeah. What's
Yeah,
the temp you got?
exactly.
350. And just because I need to buy a little time, 350 gives you a little bit of a variation. It's not 400 where you got to get it out immediately or that sucker's done. 350 is going to give us a little bit of leeway.
10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, we're just going to let it sit and do its thing.
So is it true that if you put a little salt in the water, it boils faster?
Not really boils faster, but keeps it from sticking to your pan.
Ah, okay.
That's really the key. Is, you know, when you go to pour it into your colander or whatnot, it's.
Yep.
So here's another thing. You never pour out your pasta oil, your pasta water. Never pour out all of it.
Really?
If you're making a sauce over on the side, okay, like a cream sauce or something like that, you want to leave your pasta water, some of it in there. So a lot of people will just take it out and throw it into a strainer and leave the pasta water on the side because you want that flavor. You can take a small scoop or a cup of it and throw it into your sauce on the side to keep it hydrated and keep those flavors going as well. So it's one of the things you don't want to just throw it down the drain. Now, at this point, since I'm not making another sauce, it's already made and already good to go. We're going to flip it into the colander. We're going to throw it back in the pan. We're going to, serve it up to you guys really quickly.
Gotcha.
So, but otherwise, yeah, normally you want to keep some sitting over on the side for you. Now, a lot of times in Italy, what they will do also is you have, before you begin cooking really anything, what you will do is you'll take just a regular pot and you'll cut celery, carrot, onion. You toss that into there, crank up the heat a little bit, not boiling, but just simmering. Because if you're preparing a marinara sauce in a pan or any sort of sauce in a pan, as it boils down and starts to reduce, you take a scoop of that flavor and you throw that into there. You've got you're adding more flavor as the water dissipates.
Yep.
So the more you add, the more flavors are remaining. So it's not just like adding water, just adding cream, and you've got to wait for things to combine. So you've automatically got like a nice little warm marinade going on for you. So how are we doing on our wine right now?
Yeah, good.
Good?
A couple of us are getting a little bit low.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just.
Right. Why you gotta bust your girl out? Yeah. Well, she She did say I was the second one.
It's true, I did.
You know,
I'm good.
at least I said a couple, right? It could have been anybody, right? I didn't go, hey, what's the matter with your drink? What happened to your cup? It's gonna leak. What's happening over here?
Can we take a quick break?
Yep.
Okay. My mom just called. Yeah.
All right, everybody. So I decided to give you guys a little bit of a treat. Right now, I'm busting out a little bit of pecorino romano. That's our timer letting us know that the pasta is ready to come off. Now, a couple things are happening simultaneously. Your crostinis are actually ready. The pasta is ready. I'm going to just make sure that we're looking right here. Right.
Did you ever used to do the old wives' tale, throw it up against the wall?
Nope.
That was what my mom did. We just threw the noodles up against the wall. They stuck. They're done.
A little bit of steam coming out, guys.
It's a good facial.
Facial.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to let this really sit too long. Now, there are times when I will actually take an olive oil and I will pour a little bit over this and I'll toss this. So I think I'm probably going to do that with this for you guys. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use our basil. We'll keep along with it. Makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's natural seasoning. It's awesome.
Smell that yet?
Oh yeah.
I'll make sure you get all that oil all the way through, rotating and flipping. That's how we get down, right? All right. So I'm going to start spooning these out. So let's start number between 1 and 10. No, never mind. I'm going this way.
Wonderful.
We're coming out fast, okay?
You asked me a test, so I just say false.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you. I'm a very good eater, but.
I'm going to line these up in order, okay?
2 scoops for me. That's it.
Right. I'm one of them, and joined the army when I got out. My then wife. We settled
Don't give me
over
any
there, so-
shit.
Okay.
And
That's
so then
perfect.
we went back and forth. I graduated Winona States right on the river, and so we went
All
back and
right.
forth between Minnesota and
So we're going to go with that. Now,
Oh, I had a question.
yes.
Rewind back to the whole Rice Krispie thing.
Yes.
Where'd you get that tip?
Yeah.
Something I did on my own.
And you just tried
Because
that?
we wanted, so at one
Yeah.
point, so, you know,
That's
this,
kick-ass.
so if I could share something with you guys really quick. When her daughter was born, she had protein intolerances. She had a lot of issues. She had digestive issues, infant reflux. She had a lot of problems. So my lovely wife went on a total elimination diet, she was on a 6 foods this lady ate for an entire probably year and a half, okay? So I cooked her bland chicken, white potatoes every day, salt, pepper. We had to work her into garlic over like 3 months, okay?
Wow.
So she's a solid trooper, you know, no way about it. But eventually for her, we're able to create meatballs, but we wanted to get rid of gluten, of course, keep that out of the diet for the kids,
Yeah.
you know, especially our daughter. So we just got in the idea of doing rice cereal. Now, as a kid, one of the first things our daughter was actually able to eat was that little rice cereal that you give the kids, rice cereal
Right,
and
yeah,
banana.
yeah, that makes
So what we
sense.
did is I decided to go with, you know, we went with our rice cereal and mixed that in, and I blended that up.
Yeah.
And I originally did rice checks, you know, like
Right.
I don't know if that's trademark, sorry, but
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But that's what we did, and Rice Krispies actually pulverizes a lot. The rice cereal pulverizes a lot easier, but I combined our Italian spices and it blends in really nice. You would know no difference except for it's actually finer than breadcrumbs.
Right.
So breadcrumbs to me is just the leavings. It's just the garbage. It's the
Yeah,
crap they
that's
sweep
true.
off the floor and throw in a
True.
bucket and sell it to you for $10.
Yeah.
But to me, it was the rice cereal
Yeah.
that really makes all the difference. And it comes in finer. You'll see when you bite into the meatballs, you're actually going to be able to tell the difference between breadcrumbs and how this actually
yeah.
turns out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I am adding that.
He uses it for like chicken tenders and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for the breading and everything.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. It probably adds some body and some crust to it.
It actually does. So one of the things that I started to do. Ooh, damn, that's hot. Okay, so everybody's getting 2. Okay,
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go.
perfect.
we're gonna pretend you're gonna actually eat them. So
Make believe.
We're gonna make believe, the land of make believe. And after you've had your first one, let me know if you want more. Somna
Yeah.
biscuit.
Jack, you are not superhuman.
Those are hot.
You're not Mike's mom.
Right? I was gonna say
You are not Bonita.
The name of this episode is Not Your Mama's Meatballs.
Right, exactly.
And you're right.
That is it.
You're right.
That is it.
Because your mama would have done all this with her own bare hands.
With her bare hands.
She would have held them and
Yep,
breathed on them.
exactly.
Ah, they would have roasted right there. No
Wrap
need
it.
for an oven. No need for an oven.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to cover these because everybody's going to want more, I promise. We're going to get sauce time.
Yay. Ooh, I love sauce.
Time for some sauce over here.
She is saucy.
I'm saucy. I love sauce.
All right.
Whenever we make dinner,
More sauce.
That's what he always called it. He's the king of sauce.
yeah.
He makes all these different sauces.
Yeah.
Everything has to be dipped in something.
Oh, yeah.
Doing a little pecorino romano. You good with that?
Oh, yeah. Yay.
All right. So we're going to throw that one this way, actually, to start off with. We're just going to do it. It's going to be fine. How? Because she said you want a lot of sauce, so I threw a lot of sauce.
Thank you. Now what's ever left for the
Courtney, really saucy?
Love the sauce.
Okay. I imagine we're going with some pecorino romano for you as well.
Absolutely. As long as it's not the feet cheese, we're good.
No,
Feet.
promise.
blue cheese?
Oh, God.
Be careful of that. That one's hot.
I have so many questions.
I'm going to scoot that one down.
Whoa, and we're
wow.
clanking. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, the clank. Do I just, what do I do? Oh, just leave it there.
Do
Am I supposed to hold it? I am not good at this.
I'm going to recommend that you eat it
I thought we were queuing.
As an
like,
idea.
all at the same time.
You know.
I didn't know. Like, it might have.
What's
Like-
Now,
I just
guys.
usually eat people's food and leave. I don't know how to make a show.
That's amazing.
All right, everybody, take a bite, please.
There we go.
Get in there, grab a couple crostinis. Let's have some fun. Pasta, you grab whatever you want. Take a bite, whatever you want that's food related. And I'll leave it at that. But please let me know what you think, folks.
Marinare's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Christini's amazing.
Working on the meatball here.
Very good.
Liking it?
Oh, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How's our noodles, guys? Are they nice and al dente?
They are perfect. They're perfect.
If you get all the flavors in one bite, it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the meatballs.
Perfect. Yeah, tell me, just take a minute. I want you just to take a bite slowly into the meatball. Tell me what you think about the texture. Well, not just the flavor, but what do you think of the texture itself?
So I like it that it's not mush.
Mushy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Right?
like it too.
It's got,
Exactly.
it's meat that tastes like meat.
Yeah, it doesn't, it doesn't fall apart.
No,
No,
it
not
doesn't.
at all. I know a lot of meatballs you have are mushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
It's
is
really-
this cooked or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Is this even real meat?
I don't feel like this is raw meat at all.
Mhm.
So other than that, how's everybody doing? Are you enjoying our meal tonight?
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Right
Wait,
on.
does
Very
the chef
good.
get to eat?
Interesting question. The answer is typically no. I do occasionally. I'll grab something, but
Told you.
honestly, and one of the reasons the founding reasons for me doing this show is I'm always the first one in the kitchen, last one to leave, last one to sit down. My high level of OCD keeps me from sitting down to enjoy a meal if my kitchen is actually dirty. So I can't actually, unless things are put away, like this is driving me crazy while we're talking right now. Like I could not sit down and enjoy a meal with things sitting open and unwrapped. This is purely for photo content right now. That these things are all out and doing their thing. It has to be orderly in
I
that
do all the big,
sense.
He
big
does the
dinners
cooking,
and
I do the
the
cleaning.
big dinners and the barbecues and everything.
Mhm.
And she's always like, eat. I'm like, no, I want to make sure everybody's okay first.
Yep. Everybody's got to eat. Believe
Everybody's
me.
got to eat. Everybody's got to be good, and everybody's got to leave, and then I'll eat.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
And and here's the thing: I'm gonna make enough. I'm gonna
Right?
eat.
Yeah.
You
You ain't
know.
gonna run out.
Just not
Yeah, you ain't
Yeah.
gonna run
everybody
out.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would rather one of the things that I really most enjoy is knowing that other people are enjoying what I made. That's a big thing for me. So knowing that you guys are having a great time, that everything tastes
Yeah.
great, it's a
It tastes
fulfilling
so good.
experience that really is very important to me. So how are we doing overall? We're doing all right?
Yes.
All right. I want to Give, of course, a final shout out to our sponsors, the Queen Creek Olive Mill. Thank you for providing us all these wonderful flavors to add into our meals here today. I hope you guys really enjoyed those. Maybe check them out, as we have a local patron of theirs anyway, available online. There'll be a link, of course, at the bottom of the video. And of course, our lovely friends at Oso Brewery and Distillery. We will get into those things in other episodes as we have. And that's about it. I want to thank you all for being here. Please remember to check in on Facebook that you were in the Gorilla's Kitchen eating here with us. And of course, promote the show all that you can. We thrive on our friends promoting us. And of course, to subscribe to the videos, please click the link below as I stutter through this. And we'll be sure to send you the recipes upon request. And we'll send those out to your email, of course. And thank you for joining us in the Gorilla's Kitchen. Look forward to future episodes, and we'll see you then. Thank you.
Yeah.